Welcome to the Love Government. I'm Dennis Leary, and speaking on behalf of the Love Government. We are doing a series of videos, and we're on number 4. Fourth episode of Sex Cards. I have cards in front of me. These are love cards, also called tarot cards. This card is the lover card. The lover is the cover for everything we're doing, and also the undercover for everything we're doing. That's the major theme, the lover. And this is number 4. Number 4, this is the total layout of the cards. And we are in the first suit here. We're making a journey up here in a wave-like fashion through all of these columns, and we're going to end up here, which is home base. Home is up here in this house of love, or house of consciousness, house of cards. So we're going up the number suit. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4. This is 4. These cards are illustrating the theme of 4. When we talk about 4, we're talking about the 4 winds on the positive side and the 4 walls on the negative side. The winds are free, open, blowing, go to the 4 directions of the compass, north, south, east, west. And the walls are more restricting. Walls, both are valuable. That's why we have 2 sides. We call them negative and positive, but it's like negative and positive on your battery. Both are needed. It's not good or bad, but it's negative and positive. So both of these ideas are needed. And you can probably hear the winds blowing in the background because we're filming here in a greenhouse, in a garden, on a windy day. So the winds are blowing, but the winds tend to stir things up, and they can be fun. Unless they get out of hand, if you could get a hurricane, then it's not fun. All right, what does this card entail here? What does it mean? What can we learn from it? All of these cards have to do with the love government. And all of these cards are centering in on sexuality, sex, because sex is where it's at. If we're going to recover who we are and recover what our world is meant to be. These cards are portraying the love culture. There's 4 wands in the tarot system. These are the wands. And they are decorated with flowers and ribbons. And in the background there's a city, and in front of the walls of the city are 2 dancing women holding up bouquets of flowers. And then with them appear to be children and men. That's all in that card. So they're celebrating what? Celebrating sex. These wands are phallic symbols. They mean it's an erect penis. And with the leaves sprouting out of it, it's ejaculating penis. Now that might seem really weird to us in our culture, which is basically an anti-sex culture. We get really uptight about these things. But this stuff is going on even as we speak. In places like India, you have lingams, or phallic symbols of Shiva. Shiva and Shakti. Shakti is the feminine. And Shiva, and the people carry these around in the streets, and they set them up in the streets, and put flowers on them, and, they're open about sexuality. And this is a holdover from the love culture, which was even more open than that. Free, flowing, open, nature-based. And that's the template for who we were meant to be. Now, we appeared in East Africa 100,000 years ago, in the tropics, near the big lake, in that beautiful climate. Beautiful. Now, we don't, and we have myths about it. The Garden of Eden is one of them. The Golden Age. Pagans spoke of the Golden Age. There was such a thing, or we wouldn't have those myths. But patriarchy tends to deny those myths for its own political purposes. And this side of the card is the patriarchal walls. This is actually a death scene. There's a warrior, King Tut type, lying in state in golden body armor, overlying a sword and 3 swords above him, and then there's a window there. And I'm talking about this card here, or here, same thing. So this is glorifying a military man. He's encased in gold, like King Tut. But inside, there's rotting flesh and bones inside. And this is a symbol of the negative side of our culture. Our culture is glossy and golden and glittering, about money and celebrity on the outside. That's the facade that's presented to us. But on the inside, if you really get to know what's going on the inside, it's corrupt as can be. It's rotting flesh. You know, the Bible put it this way. Jesus put it this way. He was talking to the patriarchs of his day, the elites, the money elites of his day, and he said, "You are whitewashed sepulchres," because at that time they had the bodies were put in sepulchres, which are graves. Stones were washed and made nice and looked on the outside looked beautiful, like we have monuments. But he said, on the inside, you're rotting flesh and bones. He said, I'm talking about your culture. So Jesus, the way he's presented anyway, we call him we call him she's us, because he has so many feminine qualities. He had a woman inside of him. He hung around with women and children, according to the way he's presented. Even prostitutes, so on. He hung around those people. He had nowhere to lay his head, so he wasn't enamored of the culture at all. In fact, they crucified him because he was so critical of the culture. Threatened it, you know. So anyway, I was saying here, this military culture that we have today, with all the police and the Homeland Security and the laws and the terror, contrived terror, made-up terror, the elites who operated under this system, this pyramid system, this is the patriarchal pyramid, this way, points up to heaven, the money heaven, whatever. This pyramid is a pyramid scheme because people try to claw their way up to the top, push the other bodies down, and try to get to the top and hang on to the top, and terrorize that they're going to have to slide down to the bottom. And then at the bottom of the pyramid, down here, are the slaves, economic slaves, crushed by that pyramid. It's a pyramid scheme, but that's the model of patriarchy, and that results in this, death, miserable death. Walls that are really, really constricting. So we're locked up in these boxes of wall in our culture. Because the elites at the top of this pyramid believe in divide and conquer, divide us up, privatize things, put a money value on it. All of it, underlying it all, is a hatred for love and for sex. While the very time that they're proclaiming they love us, you know. But it's this kind of a pyramid. And this pyramid is a reversal of this pyramid down here. This triangle, which is centered in the woman's sexual center, and it forms a heart down here. This is the original heart. It comes from the triangle of the pubic hair over a woman's vulva. This is the original heart. A triangle, a woman, feminine triangle, modified and euphemized into what we have up here, which is basically a chest pump up here. Chest pump. But they took the heart and rewrite things and flipped it up so it becomes a spade up here. Goes from a red heart down here to a black spade up here. And with those spades, the elites want to dig our graves. But it doesn't have to be that way. It was never meant to be that way. Our culture was never meant to be a killer culture like it is. Never meant to be an exploitative culture. Never meant that way. But there was a great rebellion that overthrew this system what I talked about briefly, and it's been going on for a long, long time, and it's getting worse and worse. And the methods of exploitation and lying is getting more and more sophisticated. But that's why necessity is the mother of invention. So it's necessary now that we invent something new. Otherwise we're stuck in the same old patterns. So love government is attempting to do that, show an alternative, a difference that makes a difference. And these cards are part of that system. Part of that system. The overall system is a love system, and it is a safe and healthy sex system. But there's been a great rebellion on the part of patriarchy, or jealous patriarchal men, who basically are killers. They went from being lovers to killers, and they began by killing animals, clubbing them first, then spearing them, and then arrows, and then it led to guns, bang, bang, drones, bombs, and it's militarization. We'll have a lot more to say about that as we go along, but I'm trying to paint with broad brush strokes too maybe, brush strokes here, so we try to get the big picture, and more than that, try to get a feeling for things. Because love is basically a feeling that you get with your whole body. And you feel, if you remember being in love, you feel so good. This is not romantic love, this is true love. It's solidly based. Unshakable love. So we get to that love, we feel really secure. Not just in this lifetime, but in all lifetimes. So we're going to sign off here, and as we usually do, wishing you, and more than just wishing you, we're sending these vibes out, these vibes of love and true and safe sex. We're sending them out, broadcasting them out. So here's the love sign, L for love. Wishing you all love, happiness, peace, and joy. Thank you.